Hello and welcome back from me, from a very long break away from my first video. I've been a little bit preoccupied since then. I've got into the final of Colchester New Comedian of the Year. It was great. There were people there from London, Norfolk, Cambridge. I got to the final and I enjoyed it. That was the number one thing on my mind, but now I'm back here and I want to make more content. Hopefully I'm going to do one, possibly two in the next week or so. I've got a bit of time because my girlfriend's going to be going away for a week. A whole week. A whole week.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in...
While I'm here, if you're into the PlayStation, PS3, game reviews, wrestling, retro game reviews, retro gameplay, anything along those lines, may I recommend That British Guy on YouTube and on Twitter. I'll put the links below. Very good, I follow him, I fully recommend. But anyway, Friday the 17th of November brings us the new Pokemon Core Series games, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And I'm personally excited for it, and I want to tell you guys about what I hope to see in those games. It's not necessarily a top 10 list, but it's just 10 hopes that I want to see in those games. So, without further skidoo, let's get into it. My first hope for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is probably the most unlikely thing to happen in this game, maybe like a 0.1% chance, and that is a return to the Kanto region. Of course, we've had the remakes recently of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and people are calling for a remake of the Red and Blue games, but we already had those in Fire Red and Leaf Green. We have visited every region since we last visited Kanto, except for Sinnoh, which is in the Diamond and Pearl games, and that's the one people think is going to be remade next. And if that's the one we haven't seen for the longest, could well be that. I personally think, however, though, that the Kanto region deserves its own game. Game Freak are currently developing a Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch, and we could well see that. Maybe the Nintendo Switch is going to do some cross regions. If not, I'm pretty sure the Kanto region will be in there somewhere. Hoping for it for this game, but literally not going to happen. Next up, I want to see event Pokemon actually have an event. So far we just get download codes for them and we just go collect it from a guy at the Pokemon Center, like he's working for the Royal Mail or an Amazon delivery service. The only real story we get with the event Pokemon is probably just the ones we get from the films. For example, you know, Hooper and Clash of Ages, we understand what's happening with him, we understand what's happening with the prison bottle, we never really understand it in the games. You just get given these things. It's like, here you go, here it is, use it, go play it. I want a bit of story. I mean, if Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to have that many legendaries in it, as you can see from the trailers, then I don't know why we can't just have a little snippet of story. We get a lot of post-game stuff in games like XY, Sun, Moon, you know, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Why can't something like that just tie in with a item we get from a download and you can make an event from it? It'd be perfect. Call me weird, but I would like to have berry growing back like we had in X and Y. I really enjoyed the fact that you could grow two separate berries next to each other, and in that tree you would have a mutated berry, a rarer berry. Keep doing that and get some of the rarest ones out there. And they're really good for competitive play. For example, normal type only has one weakness in fighting, but there is, I think it's a Chopple berry. You can put that on your normal type and it will weaken the damage taken from a fighting move. You've almost got a disguise ability like Mimikyu has already, just in one item. It's actually kind of fun to do it, you know, you get the chance to water your trees, you get the chance to weed your trees, and every now and again the trees will be shaking and in there is a wild bug Pokemon trying to eat your berries. Sun and Moon doesn't really have any sort of berry growing capacity. You have the berry field there, nothing happens really though. You battle someone from Team Skull, never get a chance to grow any berries and it's quite annoying. I know you've got the Pokepelago, but there's just no joy in it. You put it in the Pokepelago, you can update it with beans. There you go, that's it. It's just not that fun. Speaking of the X and Y games, I would love to see something like the Battle Chateau return. This was a building where battles would regenerate themselves and you could re-battle loads of people many times. You could rise up the ranks from, you know, Baron, Viscount, Earl, etc. You could level up quite well, you could get level 30s by the time you've got your second badge. It was really good. Good way of getting money as well. I know Sun and Moon was good with the money, because for no reason whatsoever you get 30 Poke-Yen right at the start of the game from your mum. I wish I could get 30 grand from my mum. Just a hint. Sun and Moon doesn't really have the capacity to train anywhere quickly, and it really needs it. Somewhere like the Battle Chateau would be fantastic for these next games. I, like a lot of people, want to see a move tutor in Generation 7, and I fully believe we will. As I've mentioned on a previous video, I had a Chespin that I taught Iron Head and Drain Punch through Move Tutor on Amiga Ruby, I think it was. And that was fantastic, it really helped. And I think we need something like that in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It'll probably be in the post game like it was in Aorus, but that doesn't really matter. As long as it's there, it's brilliant. I know a lot of people are calling for a move tutor to come in because we really need one in this Generation 7. So far I'm having to teach people moves in the Generation 6 games, transfer them up, and it's not really ideal. They need to move tutors back, hopefully throw in some Gen 7 moves with them as well. I know there's a lot more signature moves in this generation, but there's still moves anyway. Throw them in, why not? We just really need something like the move tutor back, and I fully expect that we will, to be honest. In Sun and Moon, they gave you the Mega Stones post-game, which is brilliant. Everybody wanted Mega Revolution to carry on, and it did. No new ones, but at least it carried on, and it still existed. But what I want to see is Mega Stones during the main game. I want to be able to Mega Evolve during a story. I want to play with my, just Mega Alakazam for no reason, mid-game. Why not? Please, Game Freak, please. I know you can download them as events and it's fantastic because you only get them mid-game, but I just want to find them in mid-game anyway, just like the Zygote cubes and the totem stickers that we're going to be getting in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And for example, if we're going to be getting the Gen 1 starters through Island Scan, give them Mega Stones. How good would it be to have a Mega Charizard throughout your game? Great. Many people have called for the online functions to be improved, and I am one of those many people. I don't think the Festival Plaza is any good, and that is an opinion that is shared by a lot of people all across YouTube. For a start, the tutorial you have to do for Festival Plaza is just way too long. I get the idea, you can talk to people, you can earn coins, great, but when you're going to be doing global missions that give you 4,000 coins, it makes the tutorial a bit stupid when you only get 2. The player search system and the GTS we had before were absolutely perfect. They did not need to be altered. They just, just rebrand it a little, make it a little bit aesthetically pleasing. But they didn't need to be changed, and they've changed them and it's not good. I don't like the Festival Plaza element to the online functions. I want to be able to find Pokemon to trade easily. I want to be able to wander trade easily, battle online easy. But apparently just not going to happen, and that needs to improve. We need to go back to some sort of PSS or GTS system. Hopefully you guys agree. The next hope I have is something I've had since probably Generation 2 back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that is evolutions mid-battle. Just imagine your Rowlet levelling up to level 17 mid-battle. You've taken out one of a trainer's 2 or 3 Pokemon, and all of a sudden you've got a Dartrix mid-battle. It happens in the anime, and a lot of things in the anime are being brought across to the games. Why can't we have that? That would be fantastic. I don't know how difficult it would be for someone like Game Freak to develop something like that, but with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon having a lot of effort put into them, why not put it in there as well? I know we're going to be getting a Pokemon game on a Nintendo Switch with much more data, much more space and capacity. Maybe it'll be in there, who knows? But either way, I want it. I wanted it for about 15 or so years, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. I know I said this wasn't a top 10 list, but the next 2 are probably the top 2, and the first of those is having the National Dex back. Something I really enjoyed from the Generation 6 games was getting all 720 Pokemon and filling the National Dex. It was really interesting evolving every single one in all of the different ways, whether you have to hold a DS upside down. Yes, that is a thing in K. And it's just really enjoyable to get there, and the feeling you get at the end of it is fantastic. Yet when Sun and Moon came out, I heard the news that Pokemon Bank was going to be used for the National Dex, and I thought, okay, I don't see how that's going to work, but it's worth looking into. And as soon as I completed the Alola Dex on Pokemon Sun, I went to look into the National Dex on Pokemon Bank after it had the update, and lo and behold, literally the first time I opened Pokemon Bank, I had the message saying that I had completed the National Dex. How? I'll probably say I'm a completionist, but it is something that I really enjoy doing on X and Y and on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I've played through them a couple of times just to complete the National Dex, but there's going to be a point now where I just want to do it on something a bit more updated, and I want to be able to do it on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I really hope they bring the National Dex back. I don't see it happening, but I want to take it away from the Pokemon Bank feature and put it back in the game. Complete the Alola Dex, get rewarded with the National Dex, go and complete that, and we'll see what happens from there. My final hope for these upcoming games is one I have had forever. We need a skip button. Most of the other generations of Pokemon brought us much chat, and you just want to skip to it, get on with the story, get on to catching Pokemon, battling trainers, winning the Pokemon League. It's what you want to do. But in Sun and Moon, oh my god, that first island, it's just all tutorial. You're doing 2 or 3 hours of just getting shown what to do. I just want to get on with it. If I had a skip button there, great. The first run through, it was quite helpful. Second onwards, I don't need to know this, I've been through it. And after the Pokemon League and Sun and Moon, that goes on forever. This is what happens, okay? You get congratulated by the champion. You get congratulated by the Elite Four. You then have a festival at your hometown. You then get taken away from your hometown to go and catch Tapu Koko. You either catch or don't catch Tapu Koko, and you go back to the festival. After the festival, you wake up in your house in the morning, still not able to control your character. Then the doorbell rings and you get taken outside your house. Hal takes you to Lily, as you then say goodbye to her as she goes to Kanto. You then go back to your house. Then, finally, you can control your character. It's so long. We need to skip all of this. Once you've done it once, you know what's coming and you need the option to skip. They have it on basically every other 3DS game, every other Switch game that I've played so far, and it just needs one. This has needed one forever, and it will always need one. Please, Game Freak, a skip button. If I could take one thing from everything I've told you, okay, yeah, to be fair, it would be Evolution's mid-battle, actually, forget that. But that's it from me. I'm going to go sit on my own and be depressed for the next week or so expect another video anytime soon. If you have any requests of videos, please do let me know. I've got a couple I'm thinking of. One of them is maybe Pokemon that Gen 1ers need to know about? Don't know. Please do let me know in any way or form. Thank you, and goodbye.